Well, hello again. We've been asked to advise on how to create the model for this particular roof, and it has some interesting things. And in fact, what's misleading the user in this case was the model. This rendered model doesn't match the roof plan that's been drawn. So let's show you how we got around that. The first step is to open up the track outline box, enable underlay image. Now we have already saved the PDF document to our user folder, so I'm going to find that document in our user folder. There it is there. We hit OK, and we found the roof plan on page 26, so we hit OK, and it's imported into our desktop where we're going to digitize it. And first I have to scale it because I really don't know what size is it at this point. On another sheet, now I run multiple screens, so on my other screen I've got the PDF of this guy's plan, and on another page, I think it was page 27 or 28, it had the footings plan. Anyway, it showed me an overall dimension, so I'm going to use that overall dimension to scale our image. Now before I do that, I need to save it away and measure the existing width of the footing. So that's the base dimension of the external of the building, and line it up carefully. Notice I've got my cursor lined up, the crosshair is lined up on that line, center of the line, left click, and on the other sheet of the plans this was showed at 19200. So we hit scale, and the job is now full size. So finish, and now I can start digitizing. Now this is the tricky bit. It's using a function that you probably haven't even occurred to you that was possible, but we're going to digitize the perimeter, and we'll start with this little dinky bit. From that corner across to that corner, and it's come up at 3295, so note that number 3295. I've written that down because I can't remember stuff. And if you come down here, you'll notice he's a bit confused, the poor lad, whoever drew this. It has to come down to that valley, and then across here to wherever it goes. It looks like it's going to go to, looks like it's going to there, but yeah. As I said, the drawings of the roof weren't too flash. But the key step is to make this side the same width as that side, 3295. So instead of trying to guess it, I just type U, and up in the prompt area it shows you 3295, and hit enter, and then right button and close square. So the slope of this part of the roof is 612. Eave height, I think it was about 6500. This is above the other roof, based on the elevations that we saw. We hit OK, and now we use function define vertical planes. Now, it might not have occurred to any of you that this was possible, but that's why I'm showing it. That and that one, and continue, and it builds the roof. Wow, that was pretty easy, wasn't it? Well, now that we've done that part, let's do the next part. So now this has got a bit of a wrinkle in it, insofar as there's a bit of a barge there, and there's a big old thing sticking down there. Can we use the same process? Well, I still want this valley, and probably a few ways you could do this, but I'm going to draw it this way, and I think this is going to be the easiest. So track outline again, and no, we're not going to use the old outline, we're going to digitize a new one. And we're going to go 40 plus or minus 45 and 5mm increments. So we come over here. Now these processes work exactly the same whether you're in feet and inches or metric, so just the units are different. Now this is the key step. When we select that corner, note that dimension 5665, because we're going to remember that, because we need to do the same thing as we did before. Down to the bottom of it, down here, down to that corner, middle of the line, perfect. Across here to the middle of that line, and to the middle of that line. Now note this dimension, 815. So we add 815 and 86480 because we're going to need 6480 in a minute. Come across here to the corner of that, about there, and now we want to come up exactly the same dimension that was, so it's barge line up plus barge line up equals barge line down. So we're going to go up this line 6480 and right click, close square. This is the same slope as the other one, 612, yep, and but this was lower, so we'll make the eave height of this one say 6 meters. Gutter, it's a pitched roof because we want that valley to come in, and we hit OK, and now we run around and define the vertical plane. So we have one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, and that one there. Yes, and continue. Now you go, bother. Well, don't panic too much because, okay, yeah, you might say that why didn't it do it? It should have done it. Well, possibly it should have, but we could spend half an hour figuring out why it didn't do it, or simply use the Smart Lines tools to fix it. So what first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that slope, that line there, and I middle button snap it into there. Oh, did it snap? No, now it snapped. Right up. And then I'm going to trim corner. I'm going to trim the corner of that to that. I'm going to trim that corner to that, and I need to copy a couple of lines here. So I'm going to copy that rake line over to into there, and I'm going to trim that to the corner to make it corner there, and I'm going to change that line there to be a gable line similar to those gable lines. Going to change that line to be a valley. Oops, double click it, make it a valley, and I'm going to double click that line, not the wall line, the none line. I'm going to make that a fascia gutter. Okay, so that's all my line types correct. Oh, a bit of rake in there, better change him to, so we're going to make him a gable line. And now we put the plane in. Don't go down, go along. There we go. No to the wall, yes to the fascia gutter, and we hit metal roof, yes, done. Alright, so there's that bit of the roof, and you go, oh, okay, that wasn't so bad. So don't get intimidated when things don't go quite right. You've learned how to use the Smart Lines tools, use them to fix things up. So the next thing is this dinky looking thing down here. Now, there's a few ways you can tackle it. I think what I'm going to do is use the Veranda function. So, come up here to Veranda, and we select the end of that line, not the wall line. I want the fascia line. Yes. And which side of the line is it? Now, read the prompts when you do verandas, because if you get that wrong and you're not paying attention, you have to do it 3 times, and that gets a bit frustrating. So now it's asking no more lines, right click. Which side of the line is it? Outside there, left click. And it wants to know the depth of it. It's a straight veranda, it's a metal fascia and gutter on the front, and the depth of it, measure, we're going to measure from there to out to near the gutter there. It's probably near enough to 11,850. Now, don't get caught out here. This is a toggle button, so you've got the option for hide at gutter, which is there, or the hide at wall. Now we want the veranda to come off the other roof, so we use the hide at wall, which is the height at the other end. We want to gable each side, so we get fascia as barge on each side. The slope is the same as the other one, 612. Now if we just get over here, distance from first point, you'll see that end of the line is the first point. Well, that's going to be 0, so because we're lined up that side, but the distance from the last point, which will be from that corner there over to lining up that barge line there, tells me it's about, yeah, okay, we'll go with 9330. Now if you're not quite sure where you're up to, what you've done, hit preview and have a look at it and you go, oh wow, that's pretty cool, spot on. So if we like what we see, we hit OK, and because we hung it off the fascia gutter line, it's now saying, well look, those two things are actually in the same plane, so do you want to merge them? Yes. Wow, there we go. So there's our roof, and it's just about spot on. There's a few side planes which you can get rid of if you want to, and that just about finishes that. Now, to be complete, we've got this little fella down here, and we might as well show off a bit and finish that too while we're at it. No, we're going to digitize that, plus or minus 5 degrees. So we'll go from there up to there and across to there, and right click, close square. This will be a single slope roof, and it's 13 degrees, and okay, and it's pitching towards that edge there, and we hit continue, done. Righto guys, well that was pretty straightforward. Any other questions, fire off an email at any time and we'll do our best to help you out, and if there's anything we can't figure out, well, I guess we'll just make something up. Have fun, enjoy, and I hope this was of some help. Bye for now.